Alan, what exactly, I feel like I asked the same question, but I don't know whether this changes almost day in, day out. What's priced into pound, and what do you see fair value for cable?
Yeah, it does change day in and day out. It does appear that the market probably is leaning slightly towards the idea that the March 12th date will not bring complete clarity, i.e. Theresa May will not get a deal pushed through. I say that because when I was looking at vols yesterday for that particular date, it was implying that cable was going to move by less than 1%, which would be an extraordinarily small move in the context. Now, vol traders have been burnt time and time again by thinking that a particular date's important, and then it turns out it's not because the market price is in the information beforehand. But I think in this instance, I would have expected that vol would be higher than that, almost regardless, to be honest. I think the perception out there is it's a little bit at a knife edge, but I would say, if the market gains any sort of confidence that Theresa May's deal is getting through, then we should get up to sort of 135 on cable.
And then we dive into Alan Ruskin's world. Bring it up right now, Jason. This is fun, folks. This is called OVDV. This is what the pros look at. And as Mr. Ruskin mentions now, look at the back here on this panel in the back. There's a smile like on a pumpkin, a nice even smile. That's what they'd carve at the Lacroix house for Halloween. But the moment you fall off the present and move out into the future, you get a bet on a weaker sterling. The skew here, really, it's almost what we call a smirk, becomes extraordinary. There really isn't a lot of optimism out there. You're pushing against consensus, right?
Yeah, well, I think there's a sense that if we get some sort of resolution, the pound can pop. But when Francine asked about where fair value is, for example...
Where is it?
It's, well, on a PPP basis, it's probably the low 140s. That's our estimates. Does that seem reasonable by, other metrics? For example, looking at the external accounts, if anything, the number's possibly a little bit lower rather than a little bit higher. Yeah. So, if we pop up on a Theresa May deal to 135 or 135 to 140, are we in the zone already where it's fair value or so-called fair value?
Yeah.
Probably.